On a midweek morning, after the stir of track work, there's a calm that descends on Royal Randwick. It's as if time stands still, allowing history to breathe for a moment. Standing in this magnificent old grandstand takes you back to an era past. There are places here at Royal Randwick untouched by progress, but in many ways hidden by. You can almost still hear the clatter of typewriters and the calling of copy for the late edition from the press boxes. The old jockey's room is now function room, but the walls are lined with remnants of the old Queen's stand. Scattered throughout these grounds is a racing history as rich as anywhere in the world. It's important to embrace history. To do so makes the deeds of today's greats more remarkable, more illuminating. For the championships epitomise the past and celebrate the future. Like they did a century ago, lovers of horse racing will come to be a part of greatness, to cheer on champions, to say, I was there when. It'll celebrate names like Waterhouse and Waller, Bowman and Berry, and horses like Winks.
She's a champion, Winks. She wins it by...
Today, she races for her 17th straight win, and another step closer to equine immortality. Oh, to live long enough to see how history tells the story of one of the greatest mares of all time. To witness is something truly special. This is the championships, built from more than 150 years of history.
Love it, Roy Billing, and love what we're seeing here with Winks, and maybe she is the best we've seen in 150 years. Who knows, but we're going to enjoy the moment again today, when she does go for a 17th consecutive win, can get prize money more than Sunline, just below Mackay Diva, on this gorgeous day in this brilliant city of Sydney, where they embrace racing at Royal Randwick with the championships, and the jewel in the crown is the Longines Queen Elizabeth. And what about for Hugh Bowman today? Can he continue this association? As a kid, I'd learned about Jim Pike and Farlap, and then George Moore and Tulloch, and of course Luke Nolan and Black Caviar in more recent years, and now it's Huey and Winks, isn't it? So much a part of the racing landscape. Christine, his wife, with him, and we'll be talking to her a little later today. Welcome. It really is Royal Randwick today, isn't it? Because the Queen of the Turf is racing. We think she's the best horse in the world. We certainly think she's the greatest mare. I'm with Peter Moody and also Francesca Cumani. Pete, I've asked you before, but you better than anyone know where Chris Waller is because of the magnificent job you did with Black Caviar not very long ago.
No, listen, it's the stuff dreams are made of, but Chris would be feeling the heat. He'll show great composure. He's been there and done it before, as will Hugh, but there's certainly be stirring underneath. You know, what a great day for racing. We've got the Oaks, we've got the Cup, we've got the Coolmore, and of course the QE. You know, the biggest show on turf, Winks. You know, we want you at home to watch us and take it in, but if you have the opportunity, get down here. Beg, borrow and steal. We've got the greatest show on turf today. She's here for everyone to enjoy.
That's so right, absolutely. Get here if you can. She needs to be seen to be believed. But interesting, you mentioned that the 4 Group 1s today, all of them are over a mile plus, which for Australia, where the emphasis is normally on sprinting, is an interesting point in itself. I'm interested in the Sydney Cup in particular, the 2-mile handicap. There are 2 horses trained by Charlie Appleby for Godolphin that are very low in the weights. This is a handicap. And remember what St Francis of Assisi did, Oceanographer, QE, Scottish, all trained by Appleby in the spring. They absolutely annihilated the big races there, and I think these 2 could make things really interesting.
So look for a horse starting with P today in the Sydney Cup. They're going to be pretty hard to beat, aren't they? Well, we talked about Huey Bowman a moment ago. Who better to know about the relationship between a jockey and a great horse than our own Simon Marshall. Welcome, Simon.
Well, we've seen some great horse and jockey combinations throughout racing's history. Remember Kingston Town and Malcolm Johnston. Remember Mackay Diva, Glenn Boss, Black Caviar, Luke Nolan we'll never forget. And just last week, Tommy Berry and Chautauqua reminded us how good they are, winning their third straight TJ Smith together as a team. Well, today, arguably, we're going to see the best ever, I think, in Hugh Bowman aboard Winx, shooting for a 17th straight win. She's the best horse in the turf, and she happens to win the Queen Elizabeth today. She wins it for the first time, $4 million, and she makes $12.7 million for her owners over her career. Wow, I can't wait.
Day two is loaded up, isn't it? That is for sure. So this was the first, and Whispered Secret won the Fernhill, this race over 1,600 metres, in the same colours basically as Prized Icon won the race last year. He went on to win the Derby. Dear Demi won this race 4 years ago, and she went on to win the Oaks. This is a good filly, I think.
Well, it was a good, strong win from a filly that, coming into this race, had only won a maiden at Newcastle, so she's really taken the next step up. Obviously, relished going up to 1,600 metres.
She did, in a high chaparral, and you would think she's got Oaks maybe written all over it.
You would think upside, and the history of the race suggests that the horses can train on. And Jason Collett.
Let's have a look at some of the horses that might be going in the TJ Smith. Well, could he do it? Could he win 3 in a row? I mean, he is a freak, isn't he? But is he the same horse that he was 12 months ago?
He hasn't got that spark. Listen, he was the best sprinter in the world 12, 18 months ago. We haven't seen that this time. He's been under trying conditions, big weights, but he just hasn't been the same horse.
Michael Hawkes joins me, the trainer of the mighty grey Chautauqua. The way the track's playing, Mike, what are your tactics going into the TJ?
You know, he's got to ride his own race, worry about his own horse, let everything unfold around him, and probably ride for a bit of luck and hopefully just come up in between him and maybe get to the outside as he's hitting the line solid.
Can he do it, Chautauqua? How does he look, Simon?
He looks an absolute treat, Bruce, and you know what? After his 1,500 metre gallop last start, he would have just been shooting the breeze, skipping around, hardly a saddle on his back. He looked nice and fresh, nice and bright in the eye. Tommy Berry, watch for those blue colours with the yellow lightning. Zoom up at some stage. He might be a cheeky ride on the fence, but there's no knocks on how he looks, the champ.
And we're just waiting on Rebel Dane to complete the lineup for the richest 1,200 metre race in Australia, the Darley TJ Smith Stakes. Can Chautauqua create history to the third win? They're all set and they're off and racing. And a great line out, the favourite Russian Revolution, the first into stride. Fell Swoop jumped very well, so did Malaguira. It's Russian Revolution in front from Fell Swoop, then Malaguira. English is creeping closer on the fence. Darren's out very deep. Chautauqua still last. Fell Swoop goes up the inside of Russian Revolution. Stride for stride, Fell Swoop, Russian Revolution. English comes off heels and the mirror is starting to let down. English goes after Fell Swoop. Russian Revolution's run his race further back to Voodoo Lad. It's English and Fell Swoop fighting it out. Chautauqua very late. It's English a half length in front. Can he do it? Chautauqua, he's flying. Yes, there's history. Chautauqua makes it 3 in a row. That is unbelievable. He got up to beat English and Fell Swoop. Told me that's not one of the greatest moments here at Manwick.
What he did in Hong Kong last year, what he's done here in 3 consecutive years, he is going to get a reception here fit for one of the greats.
This is what people come to see, these great horses, and you know what, I reckon I had more texts and phone calls when he was getting beat than when he was actually winning, so for everyone that's stuck solid, geez, you got to love him, don't you?
This horse just defies everything, and you know, to a lot of knockers out there, you know, this horse is the king. He always has been. You know, he's never gone from us. He's never gone anywhere, and you know, he showed everyone what the real horse is about.
Just rode their instructions, riding with confidence. People have been potting more weight, but it's the best sprint in the world. How could you pot him over this distance and going for a third TJ, you know? So thanks, John. I might not call you tonight, I'll call you in the morning, though.
It is one of the greatest moments at Randwick. It's one of the great moments in Australian racing. Phenomenal. Well, I don't think we were exaggerating. It just was. You had to be here. It was, and I've had so many people this week talk to me that don't like racing much. When I say don't like it, don't know. Oh, what about the grey horse?